It would become known as the Ali Summit and would produce one of the most iconic images in the history of American sport. A 1967 meeting called by Jim Brown and attended by prominent African-American athletes such as Bill Russell, Lou Alcindor, Bobby Mitchell, and Muhammad Ali himself was initiated to discuss Ali's public refusal to be drafted for the Vietnam War. In part two of his story, Mitchell reflects on his time at the summit, questioning Ali and how a who's who of athletes came together. Howard Griffith has more from our nation's capital, where Mitchell once starred as a running back for the Washington Redskins.
If I had to define myself, my life and my career came about and maintained itself because I was stubborn. And my stubbornness helped me in sports, and it helped me in my professional life.
Okay.
So that pretty well sums me up in that sense. Just a stubborn guy.
Throughout his 11 NFL seasons, Bobby Mitchell's self-proclaimed stubbornness generated success. In 1983, he received football's highest honor, induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yet in some eyes, his finest moment occurred away from the gridiron in Cleveland, Ohio on June 4th, 1967. Tell me who this Bobby Mitchell is in this picture. Mitchell was one of an ensemble of black athletes who met with embattled boxing champion Muhammad Ali about his refusal to serve in the U.S. Army during the height of the Vietnam conflict.
We'd already spent probably 4 hours trying to talk to this young boy. Let me tell you what that young boy did. He whipped us.
Did he? And how so?
Well, we could not come up with any question he couldn't answer. I was especially tough on him. I would mention his mother, because I knew how he felt about her and she felt about him. And the position he's putting her into, will she be able to survive all of this craziness? He was very simple with it, that she's going to come around and be all right because I'm going to be all right. I wanted to know why he would disregard all of the people who cared about him and now is upset and concerned by simply saying, I believe in my religion, I know what I'm doing. He knew, or he felt, I don't know for sure which it was, that they knew what he was talking about and understood and believed in him. It was almost like he was saying, I can't be wrong.
That group that was there, it still fascinates me that you all were able to come together that way. So just pick up the phone, say, I need you here?
Yeah, that's all Jim had to do.
The gathering known as the Ali Summit was organized by former NFL great Jim Brown, a teammate of Mitchell's with the Cleveland Browns. Basketball stars Bill Russell and Lou Alcindor, now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, were famous. But Mitchell and other attendees faced scrutiny for their support of Ali's stance.
3/4 of us stood a chance of being blackballed, and we all had jobs.
Right.
When I came back to Washington, some of the things that was said to me, you're Muslim? Same people who I've been around all the time. Never even thought about asking me that.
But because you were?
Because I appeared there, I must be sympathizer or something. I said, no, I'm the same as you. But I have an interest in that young man.
What do you think that group, that special group, could do in these times today?
Could do wonders.
Do we need a group like that right now? Does America need that?
Well, fortunately, there are some groups out there like that. We just aren't getting the publicity. Because there's so many things going on, the press can go anywhere and get some to the story. I mean,
Right.
you know. And they can turn things like they did with Kaepernick. I mean, he's talking about one thing, and this became something else. And 95% of everything was away from what he was talking about.
What advice, if any, would you give to a Kaepernick?
I was asked about him a few days after he did it, and there was people was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been treated pretty bad. I said, but I would still stand.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you wouldn't believe some of the things people have done to me, but I would still stand. And knowing that, saying that, people immediately say, well, that's it, he has a right to, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's not his right. We know he has the right, we have the right. It's like I have the right to say what I'm saying. I just think he should stand.
What advice would you give your younger self?
But my younger self would have been standing up there with Cap. You didn't want my younger self.